Hello, everyone. Will Spence here, IT Operations Manager for KW Corporation. And today I wanted to go over managed IT services, why businesses could find benefits in going from a break fix to a managed IT service, as well as kind of our process ideas and how we approach these things when onboarding someone. So before we get to the nuts and bolts of it all, we have to discuss the why. If you're you might be a larger customer, 150 to 200 users that we find where they may have one IT staff on there, and they come and reach out to us basically because, the IT person's not getting anything done. And, from an IT standpoint, we know that's really not the case. He's working and getting stuff done, but the workload and the users he is supporting is just way too overloading and bearing for him. So the response time is low. So when you bring on a managed IT provider like us, you're getting a full team. You treat us as like your internal staff, and that's where we minimize the service gaps. We keep up to date and hopefully present on all tickets that come in as a help desk and help co-manage that environment with that single person. A lot of our users where they're, from 10 employees to 100, they don't have the budget to bring on a single IT staff for their business. So that's where we come in. You get a full team at a fraction of the cost of what a single person would be dedicated to your business. And again, I can't stress this enough. When we get a service agreement to be your managed IT provider, we are going to be want to be treated as part of your team, and you're obviously in terms of your internal IT. So we're giving you great efficiency, 24/7 monitoring. Again, we're at a fraction of the cost of bringing on a sole IT person, in regards to their salary. You're getting a full team at a fraction of the cost. And again, going from like a break fix for those that don't have a dedicated IT person, break fix, you never know what's going to go wrong in a month. So with a managed IT contract, you're getting that predictable cost, a monthly service agreement. There's no hidden fees or anything like that. You know what you're going to be paying that month. So we have a couple factors, and if you've talked with other IT organizations, they're kind of the same, but I feel like we're unique and we excel in some aspects, and we're communication, security, network and system monitoring, and disaster recovery. And these are key factors to make sure that your businesses stay secure, up to date, and that there are policies and plans in place that if disaster does strike, we're not dead in the water and everybody's, sent home and the business is losing money. So I would say, as I mentioned, we're unique from what our customers tell us, especially when we take over from other providers, is that, the ease of mind that we give them in terms of the communication that goes on through that relationship, as well as we are very security focused. Security is like a huge thing in the IT industry, and really it affects every business because everybody uses technology. And as I'll go on to, I'll show you how we implement that and my mindset on that. So going from our number one key factor of communication. So, business alignment. When we onboard you and, we sign that monthly agreement and agree to work with each other, again, we are looking at it as we are part of your business team. We are your IT staff. So if you have any questions or anything like that, we need to be made aware, and communication vice versa. And with that said, you're using every business is unique, right? So technology, we need to know what technology you're using to be able to update it as well. But also we need to know how you're using it. Maybe there's a solution that comes out that we feel will work better for your business. So we would then approach you about that and get your thoughts on it. So we come in, we make sure that at all levels and all users that we're on the same page. What are the business goals? What are you struggling with? Where do we come in? How do we better your business for you? And, obviously I think the overall goal of business is kind of get bigger and better and more proficient, make more money, all that stuff. So, when we come in, we're going to put in solutions that allow you to scale. We're not going to put in something that's only going to be good for a year or two. You let us know your goals so we can align with that, and we set up a solution to help you achieve those. And, communication, ease of mind that I mentioned before, whether it's a monthly phone call, a quarterly meeting, weekly or monthly reports, you're going to be able to see what's going on in the back end. that you can have ease of mind and know that your stuff's taken care of. And again, when we onboard you and we sign that agreement, it's not, it doesn't stop there. Again, what I just said, our weekly reports, monthly reports, quarterly meetings, and hopefully a monthly phone call. We talk to our clients all the time, bounce ideas off each other and all that stuff. So we're really focused. We want to be part or looked at as part of your team so that we can serve you the best. So security, again, I love security. It's very important in today's world. Everybody uses technology in their business in some way, shape, or form. But when I go in and a newer client, and a lot of the time it's on the smaller end, they'll be using what's in kind of the middle bottom of this image. And that's just like a modem that was provided by their internet service provider that provides really no protection at all. And, before I even get over it, you see all these icons, computers, phones, printers, access points. We got some switches right above the modem. So I kind of try to, every time I try to explain technology, I try not to make the client's eyes glaze over, but, sometimes that happens. So I try to do it from an analogy. How would you protect your business physically, from a burglar or even like a fire? If a fire happened, what would happen, So again, if burglar or whatever, if you're a large organization, you may have a security guard. So he's monitoring the on-prem layout of the building. If a fire or something happens or a gunman opens or comes into your business, hopefully you have training policies and actions to perform for your employees to do in the event that happens. So again, that's keeping them up to date. And your network is no different. We need security. We need to keep things up to date so that security vulnerabilities don't be left open for bad actors to get in there. So our first thing that we do is we make sure every client has a good firewall. And that is essentially protecting the front door of your business. In our firewalls, we have advanced threat protection, intrusion detection systems, where we monitor the network. So when you say, hey, Will, my network's running slow, we'll take a look at what's going on. And I'm going to say, hey, John in Cube 13 is playing Netflix. Have them knock that off, right? So security is a huge thing. We start off with protecting the front door with the firewall. And then from there, we have to move to our endpoints, which would be the computers, the end users. So that would be our security guard in that analogy. So what we use is a product called SentinelOne, and it's not just an antivirus solution. Antivirus is basically reputation based, and there's so many new types of malware that are occurring and infecting businesses that what we call 0 day. So it's literally made that day deployed. So based off a signature of a reputation, a lot of antivirus solutions cannot detect that, and it ends up ruining a business. So with that, with our endpoint protection, it blocks against malware, Trojan, hacking tools, and above all else, ransomware. It has unique features to where if a device comes infected, we can build policies on it to segregate that device, basically lock it down into a corner so it can't communicate outside of the network or anywhere in the network. And, it works great. If it does become ransomware or ransomware infects an endpoint, it then rolls it back. It detects it. We can then get on a report saying, hey, who brought this in? What file brought it in? Where did it originate from? So great audit trail on this. We've been using it for a couple of years now, and we love it. So again, not one solution fits all, for your printers, your phones, anything else that could be on the network, vulnerabilities. Companies are patching their products on a monthly, even a weekly basis, especially if there's security vulnerabilities. So with our management system, software solution, we're managing everything and monitoring everything. And what we do is we come in again, when we get intimate on how you're using your technology, we then set up alerts saying, hey, if this program is running high on utilization, we'll get an alert. If this program's crashing, we'll get an alert. And then we'll be proactive, which we'll get in a little bit later, on how we use and how we kind of combat that. And hopefully before you even notice it, right? So one of the big things with security comes in through email. And a lot of email users, as you see from the slide, 98% of social incidents, 93% of breaches. Email continues to be the most common vector for cyber attacks. And they ain't lying. So I actually stole this slide from one of our vendors that kind of visually illustrates how email flows in, because most users now, there's no more on-prem email servers. It's just not cost efficient, and the feature-wise is lacking. So most of our customers now are either on Office 365 or Google G Suite. So as we can see here, mail comes in through the internet, goes through Office 365, and then goes to a user. Well, the issue is with phishing and malware, Office 365 as well as G Suite is not good at detecting that stuff. And that's why we have solutions like Proofpoint, which we personally use, as well as Iron Scales, which I'll get to in a second here. But basically what they are is an email security gateway. So when mail comes through, it scans it. And if it's clean, it then goes to the user. If mail comes through and it has a virus or is suspicious in any way, or spam email, it gets tossed aside and then you get alerted. Nice thing about this is that, we kind of tend to be on the strong side of things on marking things as spam, but you get a daily digest every 4 hours that you get to say, hey, these emails got blocked, and you can review it. Oh, hey, Susan from so-and-so, that's a good email, send it through. But again, it's a layer of protection that is definitely needed. But a lot of attacks these days don't even come in the form of someone trying to send you an attachment that's a virus or malware or anything like that. It comes in as a phishing email. And the best way I would describe a phishing email is essentially someone trying to impersonate another person, or trying to scam you out of money in some way, shape, or form. So email comes in. It says, hey, your Chase Bank has you need to change the password on your Chase Bank account. So it comes through, hits your email, and then if you click on it, it takes you to a web page, and it looks like the Chase Bank login page. And a lot of users don't know any different. And they log in, and what they think, they just logged into their bank account, nothing happens. Well, what really happened was you put in your credentials and it sent it to the bad actor. So with Iron Scales, it has phishing detection. So it'll stop it on a reputation base. And since it's cloud orientated, we're not just worried about the reputation within our organization. We're looking at it from even a global standpoint, because they're not just targeting you, they're targeting millions of businesses and trying to get a hit off it. So with Iron Scales, it's going to detect it, it's going to bring it back, and then delete it. And like I said, normally it's not just going to go to one person in your organization, it's going to go to many. So once someone reports it or it's already detected, it's going to bring it back and delete it. And with these two solutions that we leverage, we're able to create a safe email environment so that we know malware and phishing schemes are not getting in. And in real world example, a month and a half or 2 months ago, we just onboarded someone where his Office 365 credentials were compromised. Someone got in there, looked at his email, looked who he was dealing business with, and it was a fairly large organization. And essentially what ended up happening is the bad actor impersonated someone by registering a domain name, john@soandso.com. They changed one letter to where you'd really have to look at it to find it, and sent a thing saying, hey, pay me, I need you to pay your invoice for this project, which it looked legitimate because he was in that user's mailbox. So it looked like it was, it wasn't uncommon for that person to ask for that. So he wired over $200,000 to a bank account, and it turned out to be a bad actor. So that was a easy sell on the Iron Scales and Proofpoint. But yeah, there's so many things that happen through email. It needs to be protected. And here again, we're looking at what we get in the report, whether it's auto detected or you say, hey, you click on a button in your Outlook and it sends the email to us, and we review all the information and then say, hey, this is good. No, this is bad. And then it identifies if it was sent to anybody else, it would then be remediated and deleted. So disaster, backup, and recovery, as I have in the bottom there, backup isn't enough. In a lot of the cases that I find, the backup isn't even working as well, especially if you're not on a managed backup service. There was one thing that every business needs, it's a managed backup service. But aside from that, backup isn't enough. As I said again, you need business continuity. And what that means is if you are down, how long is it going to take you to get back up? Our solution, we can have you back up and running in minutes. And yeah, that seems a little far-fetched, but it really is not. And I'm going from the point of, if your server dies, we have our backup appliance that can then boot up as the server itself, so that you can work off the backup appliance as it acting as your server. It's that good. But a lot of things that come into a business, they do not have offsite replication. A lot of businesses are still backing up to an external hard drive. Well, if that server ever got infected with ransomware or anything else that caused damage to a hard drive or erased the disk, they're going to erase that external hard drive because it's attached to the server. It's good. It has nothing's going to prevent that. Our solution, we offsite replicate that to the cloud. So even in our image shows, something is on fire. If something environmentally happens, whether it catches on fire or let's say, I don't know, if you live in a hurricane state or a flash flood state, you don't have to worry because that data is safe in the cloud. And we can even boot up a virtual machine in the cloud so that you can work off that while whatever happens to your business location. In terms of security, solutions we have scan for ransomware and recovery. So all backups are scanned. So we know if one backup is bad, then we can get rid of it ASAP. We have multiple deployment options, like I listed, deployed in the cloud, deployed on the backup device itself. Can even deploy it to other servers and workstations if need be. So we're able to get you up and running, really, really fast. So another thing too is when you're looking at backup solutions, there are a lot of backups still that do not have backup verification. And one of the cool solutions that we have with ours is the inverse chain technology, where, if you're familiar with incremental backups, basically they come in and they take a full backup, and then the backups daily after that are incremental, meaning it only backs up what's changed. Well, if you have a 10-day backup and day 7 gets corrupted for whatever reason, that whole chain after that is bad. So you could have a chain of a 2-year incremental chain where day 30 or whatever is corrupt. That means everything after that is bad. So with the inverse chain, it doesn't matter. You have your full backup, and then I can go from any incremental after that and boot from there. It doesn't matter if day 1 or day 3 or whatever, 65 is bad. I can then go to day 180 and boot from it fine. Again, very crucial. The main sticking points of this, again, you have to have a business continuity plan, because if your data is gone, it's gone. Studies show that if your data ends up not being recoverable, your business is likely to go out 6 months after. So network and system monitoring, as we kind of have on the security slide, our KWRMM, that's our remote monitoring and management. So when we come in and onboard you, we make sure and document what technologies you're using, whether the software and solutions, and how you're using it, so that we can tailor a policy on what we need to make sure 100% is critical, high priority, medium priority, even low priority. We want to see if John in Cube 13 is computers crashing, we'll get alerted. If someone's hard drives running slow, we're alerted. If something pops up in the Sentinel-1 dashboard, we're alerted. So we're always monitoring. We have open ticket alerts and all that. So it really is a 24/7 monitoring experience, to where we're going from, if you're a break fix, you're reactive. That is a considerable amount of downtime. The people that you bring in have to get associated with what the environment is. And it's just a mess. It leads to a lot of lost revenue and productivity, to where with managed, again, we're getting intimate. We are part of your team, your internal IT staff. So we're going to know what's up, how to remedy issues fast, so that there's minimal downtime and you guys can stay productive. So, and again, there's kind of like a dashboard of how our system works. We get, hey, 11 out of 20 patches need this patch, or workstations need this patch. Just a whole list of alerts that need to be taken care of, things to monitor, such as backup and malware type stuff. But as you can see, again, with the illustration, 24/7 monitoring. So you kind of put your mind at ease, knowing that if something does go wrong, we're going to find it and have a solution for it. So again, hopefully this wasn't too long. I want to thank you for taking the time out to look at our managed IT services offerings. And hopefully that kind of convinces you on why a managed IT service contract is beneficial over a break fix. If you guys have any questions or want to learn more about our company, feel free to give me a call or go to our website. We're basically a full technology solutions provider, from low voltage data cabling, project management and rollout, access control, security surveillance systems. And I really mean it. If you saw our customer list, there's no customer too small, no customer too big, and we go nationwide. So again, any questions, information's on the screen. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. And if you want to see more future content from KW Corp and hopefully me, hit that subscribe and that notification button. Again, thank you for watching. Goodbye.